Hi there, gorgeous! Happy Frugal Friday to you. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I make videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Fridays are my drugstore days where I focus specifically on drugstore makeup and affordable products. So if that topic interests you, then please subscribe so you'll always be notified of new videos like this one in the future. Today I'm bringing a brand new collection to you from Wet n Wild for 2019. This is their Breaking Beauty campaign. What they're doing with this campaign is changing the generic idea that we've all been spoon-fed to believe about beauty and what the industry has created to be this perfect image for so many years prior, which I'm really excited, happy, thrilled to see a campaign out like this. Very similar to CVS's new approach now. I don't know if you heard about it on the news recently, but they are now showing unaltered pictures of models in stores so you can see how the makeup actually looks on these women without it being airbrushed or photoshopped, and I think that is simply phenomenal, especially with all of the self-esteem issues we have with our young women today. And we don't need to put more pressure on these beautiful women. You are beautiful the way that God created you to be, and every single one of us should be proud of that. We should own that. And so, yes, I'll say it again, super excited about this new collection from Wet n Wild. So they have sent me everything. Special thank you, by the way, to Wet n Wild for sending me all of these products. I'm going to be showing you a full face tutorial using a few of them today. But as we go through the tutorial, I'll show you swatches of all the products so you get to see everything up close. And I've also conducted a wear test, and I'll show you what these look like at the end of an 8-hour day. First products I have to share with you from this new Wet n Wild collection are these 3-in-1 primer waters. They come in 3 different scents: rose, cucumber, and noix de coco. Oh, well, one side is French, the other side is English. Coconut for the English-speaking peoples. And you use these to prep your skin before your makeup application, set your face afterwards, and also to refresh your face at any time during the day. So I'm going to use the rose one to prep my skin. I do already have an eyeshadow primer applied, and I'm going to go ahead and apply my blending shade also with Wet n Wild's Brulee eyeshadow, which really needs to be replaced. Applying a very light dusting on the brow bone area. Next product I'm using is one of their liquid catsuit liquid eyeshadows. But before I show you that application, I wanted to show you swatches of all of the colors from this line. They come in 3 different finishes: matte, metallic, and shimmer. The matte finish liquid eyeshadows swatch beautifully. Very little product required to get intense color payoff. Now, when you go to the more glittery liquid eyeshadows in this line, they do take a little bit of layering to get the color to come through, so you may need to build them a little bit. But for the most part, a majority of these liquid eyeshadows are very richly pigmented. And I love the color range too. I feel like there's something in here for everyone, which is why I love the idea behind this new collection from Wet n Wild. The eyeshadow I'm going to be using in this video today is Shells and Whistle. I'm going to apply that on the lid. I think I'm going to stick directly to the lid and then use a brush to blend it out towards the crease. Blending. They're very cooling on the eyes. It feels like you're applying ice water on your lids. And they don't dry immediately, by the way, so you do have a little bit of time to work with them before they fully set, which is great. I am going to add an eyeshadow from the My Glamour Squad palette. I'm taking that top transition shade there, and I'm going to use that in the crease. Taking another one of their liquid eyeshadows, this is in the shade Ruby Heist. It's a lot deeper, and it's a straight up red. It almost looks like a lipstick, but it is an eyeshadow. The way I'm going to use it is I will put a little bit on the back of my hand here. Take that on a brush, and I'm going to apply it to the outer half of the lid. It's almost like painting. It's the best way I know how to describe it. If you've ever painted, doing it the same way because it's a wet medium. So I'm applying a little bit, I'm wiping my brush, and then I'm going back and blending That is pretty. And to deepen it a little bit more, I am taking this shade from the My Glamour Squad palette also. And I'm going to apply that in the outer V. Now, even though that's a red eyeshadow, I mean, it looks like that when you swatch it. It's very intimidating. But if you blend it out and you apply a small amount, you get a very beautiful look with it. Next product I'm using is their new Photo Focus Stick Foundation. And I have to say thank you, Wet n Wild, for not sending me every single shade in this line. I appreciate when companies do that, but I find it to be rather wasteful and not necessary. But I am very impressed with the shade range they're offering within this line. And you can see on the little card they sent me here all the different shades they offer. And they do have comments on the card they included saying that the lightest shade and 2 of the deepest shades are only going to be available on Wet n Wild's website, so you cannot get those in stores. But let me know what you think. If you are really pale, if you're really dark, if you're medium complected, what you thought about all the different shades they offer here. I feel like they're being rather inclusive with this new line. They say they designed this product with no flashback, meaning that you're not going to get white cast on the face when you use flash photography to take your pictures. This provides medium to full coverage with a satin finish and looks like it is buildable. The shade that I've chosen here is Shell Ivory, so I'm going to apply this on the skin like that, and then I'm going to take a damp sponge here and blend it in. It's very easy to blend, not like other stick foundations I've used where you struggle to get the right look on the skin. This is not acting that way at all. It's acting like a traditional liquid foundation, but more of a cream consistency. Ah, that is simply gorgeous. This side to this side, you can already see a tremendous difference, and that's with one light layer of the stick foundation. But on this side, I'm going to apply a little bit more to get the fuller coverage that they claim you can get with this. And I also want to see if applying more will affect the wear time of this or not. So I'm really going to pile it on this side. Pile it on. I have no problem doing that. And blend it again the same way I did on the first side. Well, it's definitely heavier on this side compared to this side. And I feel like the more product you apply, it starts to look a little cakey on the skin. And you can probably see what I mean between the two sides. Whereas this one looks a lot more skin-like, and this one looks like I'm actually wearing foundation. Wet n Wild has also come out with 4 brand new bronzers in this line. Beautiful shade range here, and they say that these are a gel-infused cream powder hybrid formula. That's quite interesting. So I'm going to use one as a contour. Now, I know you're supposed to use bronzer on your face for a sunlit glow. I get that, but I'm gonna break the rules because guess what? Makeup doesn't have any, or at least it shouldn't, and you shouldn't be afraid to break the rules like me, be a rebel, yeah. A couple of these are matte in finish, so they're not going to look terrible if you did decide to use them as contour. The one I'm going to use is Ticket to Brazil, because that's the lightest, and I feel like it may be the most complementary to my skin tone. Now, it is a little orange looking, so we're gonna roll with it though. Well, that's really pretty though. I mean, it's not as orange as I thought it was going to be, and it adds subtle contour to the skin. They also have some brand new highlighters that they've added to this line. 2 of them are highlighting powders in the shades Bloom Time, which is just gorgeous, and the other one is Awesome Blossom. Great pigment with these. I'm not going to use those though because I have a ton of those. I've used them so many times in the past, and I know the quality is really great with those. But they do have 4 brand new loose highlighting powders, and I do want to use one of these to demonstrate the quality you get and what they look like on the skin. They say that you can use these on the high points of your face like you would a traditional highlighting product, or you can mix some of the loose powder in with your foundation or BB cream, whatever product you're using on your skin for an all-over glow. We're not growing here, we're glowing. I'm going to go with the shade I'm So Lit. It is the lightest out of all 4. And you really don't need much with these. When I was swatching them, I was really impressed with how little was needed to get that beautiful swatch. Ha! Yeah, see what I mean? I'm gonna use what I have on my face already, and I'm going to blend that. Goodness, I need to blend that a little more. Goodness gracious, hello. See, now that's pretty. When you blend it out, that's pretty. Last products I have to show you are the new Mega Last Liquid Catsuit High Shine lipsticks, and I will be showing you each and every single one of these lipsticks up close so you can get an idea of the color range that is offered here. They have 13 shades. They say they are infused with a blend of vitamins, plant-based oils, and butters. They have a very creamy texture that provides moisture and nourishment to the lips. So it's basically a lip lacquer with the comfort and shine of a gloss and the high pigmentation of a lipstick. Now, for the most part, these have a very rich pigment to them when you swatch them, and I didn't have any trouble with applying them in the swatches I showed you, but with a couple of the darker shades, they did take a lot of layering for me to get the product to look even in the swatch. And so I feel like you might struggle with some of the darker shades and getting them to look even on the lips. They may look a little splotchy, and I'll show you what I mean here with one of the darker shades. This is called Devil's Advocate, and if I swatch it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You see how splotchy that is? It's no different when you apply it on your lips. It starts to look streaky and uneven. So that's what I mean. The shade that I'm pairing up with this look from that new Liquid Catsuit lipstick line is Cedar Later. It's a bit of a terracotta looking shade. This one is very richly pigmented. But all the qualities they mentioned with these lipsticks are accurate. I would say it absolutely looks like a lipstick, feels like a lip gloss, lip balm, in that it's very moisturizing on the lips and it has a creamy texture on application. It's very nice. Finally, I'm going to go back with one of those primer waters. I'm using the one in Cucumber this time, and I'm going to apply it to half of my face, simply because I want to see if it extends the wear time of that stick foundation, but I also want to see if the stick foundation is going to wear well on its own without the primer water having any effect on it. So we'll spray it. Woo, it's very refreshing. At the end of the day, after wearing these products for a straight 8 hours, most of them looked simply gorgeous on my face. The eyeshadow was intact. It had not creased or faded at all. The bronzer was still strong. The highlighter was popping. Oh my goodness, it looked amazing. The highlighter is so beautiful. I'm wearing it again today, okay? Now, focusing specifically on that stick foundation. This is one a lot of you have been asking me about, so I'm going to give you the downtown nitty-gritty on it. I really loved it. First impressions wise, it looked beautiful. It blended so easily. It covered imperfections on the skin flawlessly. And I did like it better as a medium coverage foundation as opposed to a full coverage foundation. I feel like when I applied more of it, my face started to look cakey. It wasn't as natural looking. So in that aspect, less is more with this stick foundation. But at the end of the day, I didn't like how it looked on my skin. Now, it remained intact as far as oil breakthrough. I didn't have that much shine, both on the side without the setting spray and the side with the setting spray. So I was really happy to see that. But if you look closely at my face, you can see separation. It started to come apart in certain places, and it wasn't beautiful looking anymore on the skin. So it's really sad for me to tell you that, because my initial impressions with it were complete. I can't speak because it was so good. One thing I want to add about the stick foundation though, to be fair, if you have a dry complexion, I would recommend trying it out, see if you like it, because stick foundations are usually meant for those with drier skin, as opposed to someone like me who is a complete oil slick. And it does say that it has a satin finish, which you saw that it did. So typically matte finish foundations are more for those who are oily, as opposed to the more satin finishes, which are more for those who have drier skin. So That would be my recommendation, but if you are oily, I don't think you'll like how it wears throughout the day, despite how beautiful it is on initial application. And the lipstick, don't expect a lot from the lipstick in terms of wear time. And to be honest, Wet n Wild doesn't promise you an extended wear time with the lipstick either. For me, it wore off after about 5 hours, I want to say. So it's not going to last that long on the lips, but I'm wearing another one of their shades today combined up with a lip liner. I'll have all the details for you below in the description box. And I really love the formula with these. It's very creamy, smooth, hydrating on the lips. So despite it not lasting long, I do feel like they are worth checking out, especially at this price point. If you're interested in any of the products I used here today, I will have all of them listed and linked for you below. They will be affiliate links, so if you click through and purchase, I'd like to say thank you in advance for helping to support this channel and our family. Let me know your thoughts on this new Wet n Wild collection. If you've tried any of the products out, feel free to share your experience below as well. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.